Using the Reports module in Sydney. This is the first video of a series of video that goes over reports. To get started in the reporting module, you're going to click on Reports from your menu bar inside of Sydney. When you first go to this page, you're going to see a list of reports that are actually already available to you. All of these reports are available to you based on if you're an agent or an office. The ones that are available for franchisees will be labeled with office at the end of it. This is just a list of reports we feel will get you started in using the reporting module. So if any of these look like a report that you'd want to run, you can actually click into it and use that report. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of reports and how to build one. So to get started, I'm going to use rows and columns on the left-hand side. There's 3 different report types: Grid Builder, Rows and Columns, and Summation. Rows and columns is going to be the one that you're going to use most often. We'll have different videos that goes deeper into each of the different report types. In this video, we're just going to cover the basics of building any kind of report. So when you choose your report type, the first option you're going to have is the primary record type. This is going to be a drop down of the different pages inside of Sydney. Your primary record type is going to be what you're reporting on. Are you pulling a report on your buyers, your sellers, your deals, your listings? Whatever it may be, select that record type. Once you choose it, your Sydney's going to spin a little bit because what's happening is it's pulling in all of the related fields for that record type. So it's pulling in all of the listing fields to get me started. So have a little bit of patience with it while it loads it in. Once it's done spinning, we can go ahead and get started. Now with rows and columns and some of the other reports, you have 2 options here. Records must pass all of these conditions, and records must pass any of these conditions. A condition is what you would use to filter down your report. So if I were to just run this report, I would get all of my listings with no specific conditions. If I have multiple conditions I want to see that report pass, meaning an either or, they can be this or this, I would choose records must pass any of these conditions and add my conditions here. If I want the conditions to be required for everything, I would choose records must pass all of these conditions. So be careful when you're choosing between the 2. So I'm going to choose add condition. And that's going to give me a list of every single field related to the listing. There's a lot of fields here, so you'll just have to scroll through to find the specific field you're looking for. The other thing it will do within the reports is it will allow you to also pull in fields of related records. A related record is something that's another record page that's connected to that record. So for example, on our listing page, there are multiple related records, and they're typically something that links to another page. So seller is a related record, employee, franchisee are categories, and anything else that you see highlighted in gold would be a related record, which those are the main ones. So when I'm creating this, I can actually scroll down and I can see fields for those related records. So right here where it breaks up and goes to contact represented, those are the seller fields that I can pull in. If I keep scrolling down, my next option is the current deal, because on the listing page you can connect to a deal. Let's see what else we have. We have employee fields, so we can actually pull in the employee fields related to it. So that's the basics of choosing your condition. So if you're working with something like a seller or you want to see the lead source or a field that's on the seller record related to your listing, you can actually pull in fields from that. Now it does take a little bit of getting used to scrolling through these fields and understanding what you can pull in. Now if you're just looking for a specific field, you can actually start typing on your keyboard what you're looking for, and that's going to take you to that field. So it's going to save you a little bit of scrolling time. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to choose one condition. I'm going to make that the client status because I'm pulling a report on listings. So theoretically, maybe me, Bruce Wayne, the franchisee, I want to see all of my listings that have the current status of pre-market. So that's the one condition I have. If I want to add additional conditions, I can just by continuing to click Add Condition and choosing from these. I can also remove a condition. Now, if I were to just try and run this report as is, I'm going to get no results found. And the reason being is I don't have any columns set up. You have to have at least one column set up in order to generate results. Columns are going to be the same thing as your conditions in terms of what you can select. This again is going to have all of the fields on the listing page, and then also all of the fields on something that it's looking up to. So that seller record I can look to, a deal that's connected to the listing, I can pull in fields from that. So get started by choosing whatever fields you want to see in your column. So since I'm a franchisee, maybe I want to see the assigned to. If I want to generate that, you'll see I'll immediately start to see some results. All right, for time's sake, I've gone ahead and just added a couple of columns here. Once you have columns set up, you'll start to see all of those results once you click generate. If you want to remove a column, you can click the X, or if you want to reorder where your columns are, you can do that, drag them around. And then you can also choose to order your report results by something. So again, you can grab a field and have it organized by that specific field. It's going to spit out your total number of results. And if you run your report, so as an example, I have all of my listings here that have a status of pre-market. If I want to remove that condition, I can, and that's going to give me every single listing that I have. And since I'm a franchisee in this example, I'm going to see results for my entire office. So I have a couple of my other agents in here. Agents will report solely on their records, and office owners, you can report on everything in your office. So I can add a different condition here. The nice thing with reports is there's a couple of value options. So for example, I have client agreement date. I can pull my report based on the client agreement date. I have the option of equals, not equal to, before, after, empty, not empty. I can also, since it's a date field, choose to report by the day, month, or year. So if I want to see client agreement date, year, equals, and I can put 2021, and then generate, that's going to change up my results. And it's going to give me only the listings with a client agreement date in the year of 2021. Once you have your report done, you can go ahead and click Save, and then that's going to allow you to title the report. Once you save it, that report is going to be saved to your reporting section. So anytime you want to come back to that report, you can always come back to it. You can edit it, you can change it, and you can save it again. Once your report is saved, you'll never lose it. And then a couple of other report basics you can do with it is you can actually export your report. So if I click that, it's going to export it into an Excel. So here's the export of my report. I can now use this in Excel and can continue to make charts or edit this report inside of Excel doing, pivot tables or anything that I want to see. There are a couple of other functions that you can do on the reporting tab next to the export button. Right here, there's a print report button. So if I click that, it's going to put the report, the results in a printable format. So here's that. I can also click email report, and that's going to put the results into a nice looking email. So if you wanted to send this to somebody, you could. I can also copy this report. So if I have created the basics of a report that I wanted to use, and then I want to make a second report that maybe has different conditions, and I don't want to have to set the entire report up again, you can click copy, and then it will allow you to change the name of the second report and click copy, and that's going to make the same exact report again, so that then you can just edit some of the fields rather than having to start from scratch if you're making a couple of different reports for the same primary record type. Now there is a button for buyer list. This is only to be used when you are actually making a report of buyers or inquiry records, and I'll show you that in a different video when we go deeper into rows and columns. And then again, the save button. So that's the basic of the reporting function. Check out some of our other videos that goes deeper into the rows and columns, summation, and grid builder reports.